Talk a little bit about what you think about the current lack of financial education, financial acumen, financial literacy, not just in young people, but gosh, kind of throughout the nation. What's your insights on that? And where do you think people could or should focus to better themselves in life rather than just, trying to grind it out somewhere?
It's really interesting. I heard a stat not too long ago that only about 5% of the population is ambitious. So that's a really interesting stat to me of why are those 5% or those 5% the entrepreneurs and the salespeople? Like, I don't know how that ends up equating, but a relatively low percentage is ambitious. So those people that aren't ambitious, will they will they have a drive and a hunger for financial literacy and financial education if they're just gonna work a job and take care of their family and pay the bills? Probably not, right? Like why would they dig into self-development, financial education if they don't have the hunger for it?
Right.
I think it's one of those things like how can you create ambition in people? I don't know if you can. I just don't know if you can. I would say I think the best thing we as entrepreneurs can do is do the best that we can do and inspire people to where hopefully they see us and they say, I want to be like that. An example would be my nephew. I think he's 23. He's now wanting to get in real estate. He sees me doing it. He's seen the change. He's seen my life change and kind of what I have and what's going on, our paydays, that kind of stuff. And he says, I want to be in real estate. Why would I go to college? Right? Like, why would I go do something and make 60,000 a year when Mark is making $60,000 in an hour type of thing? Right. I think that's one of the best things we can do is do the best we can ourselves, inspire people and not be so afraid to show it. And I don't mean in a boastful way of always trying to brag about and show how much we're making, but also at the same time not hiding it because I think so many of the wealthy do that and rightfully so because and it's a sue happy country, so they protect themselves, but it's really hard for people to be inspired if the people that are prospering don't allow it to be shown.
Last question. What do you enjoy about the business of real estate, your current business model, what you've been building? What gives you enjoyment and satisfaction outside of the fact that, you've created your own economy? You're not dependent upon anybody but yourself and what you've learned to do and the skill sets. But what do you love about real estate as a business and investment?
I still love the hustle. I know a lot of people talk against the hustle and you got to build the system, you got to build the team. Man, I love the hustle. I love doing deals. I love hustling. I love going out there. I love meeting with sellers. I love negotiating, putting deals together. I love just about every piece of it outside of any admin stuff. That's not my strength at all. But I'm a deal guy. I love doing
Mhm.
deals. I love putting deals together. I love having the vision of transforming a property. I love how quickly and easily, I'm going to say easy in a negative sense, as in like it's overly easy. But I look back, I'm kind of diverting here, but when I was at John Deere, I was working, what was it, like 3,000 hours a year for $40,000. Whereas a wholesale deal earlier this year made 85,000 on it and I didn't have any more than a couple hours invested. So I love that stuff. I love just knowing that I'm condensing time,
Right.
or if nothing else, I'm giving myself more time back.
Yeah.
So when I look at the fact that I'd have to sell 6,000 hours of my time for that same amount of money, I'm like, "W- I could never, ever go back to work." Once you do stuff like that, you feel sorry for other people that are willing to. You're like, they just don't know.
They just don't know. Well, it's always said that the more complex problems that you're able to solve, whoever is solving, the higher your time value is, right? And so that's what you're doing. You're out there solving problems in the marketplace, and anybody can do this, in any marketplace, whether it's real estate or otherwise. But find problems that other people need to be solved. If you enjoy solving those problems, you're right. It is fun. It's addicting to put things together to figure out how to create solutions that solve the biggest problems of somebody else, and you put something together that works for you and whoever else is part of the deal, a
Yeah.
hard money lender, whoever it was going to be. It's just
Mhm.
and you're employing people at the same time and making housing as affordable as possible, creating, for those who desire to rent, need to rent. And there's so many aspects to what you're doing on Main Street. No one even gets close to doing, on Wall Street financial arbitrage. I mean, that's their game, but you're doing something that has real meaning in life. And I think that serves not only for you and your family and your independence you created, but it's got to serve a lot of self satisfaction for you, just in your own soul. It has to.
Well, and yeah, and there's the couple pieces to it. One of just owning my time, especially right now as I'm still going through this. I allow myself to sleep in until I wake up. Sometimes that's 8 a.m. Sometimes that's 10 a.m. I have control of my time. Almost this entire month, I've just spent either at home hanging out with my daughter. Like she doesn't remember me ever going to a job. She remembers me always being home. Like I've never worked too many hours. I've always spent enough time at home, always been present. And so when I look at that, like she's going to not only remember that, but that's going to be normal for her. So it's not going to be normal for her whenever that time comes for her to be working, if she does, to be spending all day and night at the office. She's going to be home with family, right? Because that's what she knows now. And she grows up seeing these deals being put together and saying, that's how dad makes money. He doesn't make it by going to a job. I love that part of it of it's not just the financial legacy that I'm leaving behind for them, but it's also the tools and the know-how and what they've been exposed to is different, far different than what they ever would have been exposed to had I stayed in the job.